I know that the Good Samaritan policy is in place so that people feel comfortable enough to call if they think that their friend or someone that they know is in danger, but I think student athletes view the Good Samaritan policy differently than other students on campus.
Yes, the Good Samaritan policy encourages individuals to call us when individuals are in the need of medical assistance, when they're under the use of alcohol or drugs. And what it does is it eliminates the possibility of disciplinary action or an arrest where our officers would normally maybe issue a non-traffic citation for underage drinking. It has, in my opinion, has saved lives.
I think on this campus there's a fear that athletes have in Good Samaritan their teammates because they understand that we're held to a higher standard almost than the rest of the student population is. Because it's, even though we all know that the athletes go out and drink, we're supposed to be representing the Lafayette brand, so it's biased against athletes in that way.
There's no formal disciplinary action that's taken on a student athlete who falls under a Good Samaritan policy. What we do, and this is no different than any other injured athlete that's hospitalized, that student is on a medical leave. They have to visit with the college physician, and the college physician, like in any case, will clear the individual to return to play.
The way that the administration has explained it to us over and over again is that we'll be placed on medical leave for part of our season, but I think that promotes and facilitates a culture that encourages us not to necessarily report our fellow student athletes when we go out and when we think that there could be an issue, because we're so scared that something might happen to their championship season.
I think that the athletic director and anyone else that's high up in the athletic department would maybe make a recommendation, but I think that it's the coach's position to actually enforce what they believe the fair punishment is for Good Samaritan.
Coaches have the sole discretion on regards to playing time, and so that's within their purview. But there's always consequences to actions, but that's different than a formal disciplinary action. A consequence could be that they have to, the student needs to call their parents and tell them what took place, that kind of thing.
As a track runner, if I was Good Samaritan, I would have to miss 20% of my season. There's no free pass, but there's no disciplinary consequences with the school in that you wouldn't have to be suspended from classes or anything like that.
If an athlete gets Good Samaritan, or if an athlete's involved in Good Samaritan someone else, the administration pays more attention to it, and your coach is immediately notified, and proper steps are taken in that you would have a meeting with the AD and your coach to discuss the next course of action for you, whether that's being placed on medical leave or it's receiving counseling. I think it's a different process for athletes to be Good Samaritan than it is for other students on campus.
I think as a whole, though, with the athletic department, there is confusion over what the policy exactly means, and it would be helpful if there was a meeting that was just going over, for at least the athletes, this is what the Good Samaritan policy is, just to reinforce it, and these are the consequences, and have a general rule rather than having different teams having different rules.
Clearly, if there's still some confusion, we need to continue to work on that.
I think it's imperative that all departments, whether it's us or folks from the conduct end or coaches, be consistent with the policy. The purpose of that policy, in my mind, is to keep the whole community safe. And if we have individuals doing some things on their own, it may discourage people from calling, which would be counterproductive certainly to that policy. So we all need to be on the same page. and be consistent under that policy.